Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining me for my series about meditation tools and how to use them. My first meditation tool was a pendulum, and there are so many pendulums, so many different types of pendulums. You can make your own or you can purchase one. The important thing is to find one that resonates with you. The way that I learned how to use it was just simply to request that it shows me a no and it shows me a yes, so that I know, which way, so that when I ask a question, I know whether it's going the direction for yes or going the direction for no. So that was the only way that I've known how to use it for years. It wasn't until recently that I learned you could actually use a pendulum chart guide so you could get more precise answers. So you can just use a simple chart with just a yes and a no. And you can make these charts yourself, or you can purchase them online. Just search for a pendulum chart guide if you want to purchase one. Or here's one that has a yes and a no and a rephrase. So sometimes if you ask a question and maybe it's too broad of a question, maybe you need to have a more focused question, it will tell you to rephrase it. Or a maybe. So if you get a maybe you need to rephrase your question. One interesting way that I found to use a pendulum, one day I was just sitting talking to myself just because I wasn't sure what questions to ask. I didn't know what direction I wanted my life to take. I had no idea where I even wanted to go. And so I was just sitting there talking to myself, and I was holding my pendulum. And I started noticing that my pendulum would sometimes go one way and then sometimes it would go the other way. And I started realizing that when I was thinking thoughts or saying words that were for my highest good, maybe I was thinking happy thoughts, the pendulum was saying yes. If I started thinking thoughts that were not for my highest good, or saying things that were not very positive, it would start saying no. And so this was such an important tool for me to understand what thoughts were positive and what thoughts were negative. I grew up with such negative thoughts that I really had no idea, when I was talking to myself, how negative I was being. My first email was fatandugly@aol.com. So, I hated myself. This pendulum has been such a huge benefit in helping me understand, what thoughts were for my highest good and what thoughts that I needed to release, and how to start talking to myself. If you're new to meditation, I highly recommend a pendulum. Another thing that I've learned about using a pendulum is if my energy is really low, then the pendulum swings very slowly. So if I notice that my pendulum is swinging very slowly, I have to rethink my energy level. Maybe I need to go do some jumping jacks. Maybe I need a drink of water. Maybe I need to go outside and stand in the grass for a while and renew my energy. So if you notice your pendulum is swinging very slowly or very slightly, you might need to up your energy level a little bit. You can, for myself, I'm a Reiki master, so often I will cleanse my stones or recharge my pendulum by holding it in my hands. You can also cleanse your pendulum and recharge it by putting it on your windowsill and leaving it there, all day and all night to give it that moon and that sun energy. So you can make your own pendulum just by using some sort of a pointed stone or a pointed crystal and a chain or some sort of a string. In a pinch, I've seen people take off their necklace and use their necklace. So, a chain and a heavy object at the end can be used also. This pendulum I got at a rock show in Nebraska. And then I have this one, which I absolutely adore. I got this one at a spiritual shop in Oregon. Whatever pendulum you choose, just make sure that you love it, that it resonates with you, and that you attune it to your energy so that it can be a wonderful tool for you in finding and in connecting with your higher self and finding answers. So I hope this was helpful today, and thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Meditation Tools. You are so fabulous and so loved. Thank you so much for being here. Have a glorious day.